All right. Well, good evening. I am Donna Christian Lowe, and I'm going to share my race reality with you. My race reality is a story of fear, heartache, humor, and truth. But it's really a story of a really white girl who married a really cool black man, Marty Lowe. First, a little groundwork. You have to know where I come from to know where we're going. Raised in a really white community, really white parents, the least likely to ever marry out of my race. It was never even a thought. Just like you have the sex talk, we never had the talk about don't date black men. It just wasn't a conversation, wasn't even a thought. The love of my life, how in the world could I, the white girl, love a black man? How in the world would I ever explain this to my white friends, because that's all I had was white friends? How would I tell my parents about this black man? I had no idea, did not know. My family was known as the Brady Bunch. That's what we were called growing up. It was quite comical because two such a twins, mom and dad, it was always something happening. My house was the house to be at. There was never color, though. Again, a happening place, happening family, but happening in a white community. My parents, my white parents, let's meet Barbara Christian and Danny Christian. My dad was a fireman for 36 years in this city. My mom owned a business, an entrepreneur, 42 years a hair salon, and these are their beautiful kids. You can tell which one is me. But this was what our world looked like. It was really white. A little more about me and my twin. He's older by a minute. He never lets me forget it. And I tell him, well, if life takes its course like it should, you'll die first, too. So, the little redheaded girl in the front, I was the epitome of the redheaded stepchild. Got made fun of, the freckles. Y'all remember QT? That was my saving grace until we found the tanning pills. A little more about me. I was that girl that most of you would have hated in high school, just to be honest. I was a cheerleader, junior miss, but my parents kept me grounded because anytime I thought I was better than someone, they would get me in check. But I was your typical white girl. Monumental moments. If you can actually count the times you had interactions with black people, you got a problem. First, second, fifth grade, I had a black teacher. It horrified me. I was scared. It was traumatic. I didn't know what to do, but we made it through. The fire hall, number 16, I grew up at that station. Looked across the table at black girls, but wondered why we didn't talk outside of the station. 1996, I married the love of my life. Met and married him in 6 months. All we ever heard, it's never going to last. And my brother said, don't worry about it. You don't got to walk down the aisle because when mom and dad find out, they'll kill you. That was the truth, and that was reality. Hamilton Place. The first date with Marty Lowe. I thought I played him. I really thought I was good. I called him and said, hey, I can't make it. I'm running late. I don't want to make you late. So if you want to go ahead and get in, get your ticket and go in. I'll see you in the back of the theater. That didn't work. He confronted me front and center. I don't have to date you. We can be friends. My Walmart moment. Behind a lady, black lady with 2 black kids. The kids were yelling and screaming. My first thought was superior. Why is this lady standing in front of me? Why doesn't she handle her kids? That was a reality check. I realized I was a horrible person inside. How could I feel that way about kids? This is my new normal I'm looking at, but I'm in Walmart and having these crazy thoughts about how horrible a black person is when I'm trying to fit into this. Nothing made sense. I had no direction. Then I started researching. I started thinking intelligently. Mildred and Richard Lovin, did I have something in common with them? I was them. But how, again, did I start operating? How do I start operating and actually doing something? Many mixed emotions. Then I started to embrace my whiteness. I started to embrace his blackness. I started to embrace everything that was odd and quirky about me to his family. And then I started to embrace the blackness. I started to see beauty in that I thought was ugly and that I thought was horrible. And then we have the spatula moments. There's some humor in all of this. I'm giving you the paraphrase. But I walk out to my black family. I'm cooking dinner, and I tell them, I'm getting it. I'm not studying you. Now, some of you laugh because you know what I was supposed to say. There's nothing about education. There's some slang that I still say, honey, can you translate that for me? But that's the fun side of this. And then I start looking at my life now. It's like this picture. It's vibrant. It's full. It's enriched. My life is different, but I still know people who look through the same lens that I looked at 25 and 30 years ago. They operate that way. But now, this is my world. My world is different. You really want to know some reality? Talk to me outside of this. I was told black people are bad. They're not good. And no, we still love them. God wants us to love them. We just don't associate with them. How in the world do you give a kid that conflicting message? I've learned love trumps hate. What did I say? Love trumps hate. Say it again. Love trumps hate. I had hate in my heart, but I wouldn't have told you that. I had hate for people who didn't look like me. How in the world do you operate that way? How can you not love this? I have learned motherhood trumps race. Motherhood will trump a lot of things. And how in the world could I not love those two girls in Walmart when I love him? Love and motherhood will trump all else. And finally, Yoda, he's pretty smart. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, and anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I was that person, but I don't suffer anymore. I don't hate anymore. I'm full of love.